Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so I feel that there's been some illumination in this situation. I feel like whoever you are, you have a lot of help in this situation, strong, powerful, divine help. And it's illuminating something here. It's leading you on this kind of path of discovery about who a person from your past really is. I feel like if you're a woman or if you're like more femme, then whoever this person was, I think that you saw them as very masculine, very strong, but also there's like a lot of passion here and a lot of love. I think you saw that this person was going places, that they had a lot of potential, but you also thought that this person had morals and there's certain things that they were not willing to do, people that they were not willing to step over, things that they were not willing to engage in order to achieve their ambitions. And so because that was the impression that you had of this person, you thought that they were very confident and you were attracted to it. But it's more than that. I feel like they're, I'm getting like the solar plexus energy just kind of starting to blend in with the heart energy. I think that's what you thought about this person, that their solar plexus, their confidence, their who they are was kind of blended in with their heart energy. You picked up on like heart energy from this person and you're really attracted to it. And I think that love was starting to grow in this situation. But this person, or somebody that they were around, and it's because of this person's ambition basically was like polluting and clouding their mind, and their ego defense mechanisms activated in order to protect them from having to realize something here about themselves and the path that they were pursuing and a certain person that they were pursuing. And because of that, I feel like you were looked upon as maybe like the enemy, or there's like this feeling of this person not being sure about you, when I feel like at first they were very sure about you. I mean, they just had like a lot of love. They were kind of like pursuing you, and something here just like happened, and it got in their line of sight. And I really strongly, this is like the devil tempting Jesus on the mountain. This is like, it's just strong worldly energy, temptation energy, in order to get someone to misstep, in order to get someone like off of their divine path. And this energy, it was like pure greed, because whoever this, I want to say person is, your person that you were with or like attracted to in the past, didn't see this person clearly, but when they saw them, they knew that this person was like successful, and that they could offer them some type of, this person in the card is like holding a golden orb, like some type of like golden trinket. And whenever I see this card, I always hear that, oh, I wonder, do I, what's in a wonder ball? So it was the temptation of like, well, what does this, me forming an alliance, and this feels to me like a schmegdual alliance with this person, what could that get me? Like, what could I gain? And so this person sort of fell in love with that image of themselves as they were climbing up the mountain, as they climbed up that hierarchy, but not by the right means, not by building up a genuine skill set internally or externally, but just simply by relying on their lust, their passions, and their greed. And so this person, because they were blinded by their own greed, in your person's mind, this person that stepped in front of their path really could do no wrong. This is the person that's like actually kind of shady. And I feel like your person's learning that. They're kind of having to learn that, but they're also having to, it's like spirits guiding them on a path where they have to kind of realize that the person they were with and slept with and like aligned themselves with is shady. That's leading them to eventually work around to understanding, oh wait, I'm shady, right? Like, this is the vibrational frequency that I aligned with, but I didn't question it at all because it was glittery and the promise seemed like a guarantee, or it seemed so strong. But just, like any contract you make with the devil, it gets its hooks in you. You're never truly free. And this person may also be kind of discovering that. I feel like there's kind of a mirroring here on your path and on theirs, where I'm seeing Hecate energy, where she's wearing the headdress of liberty, and she's holding a key, and she's going in with her torch. And so she's torching out this darkness, this underworld journey. She's torching it out. I feel like for you and for this person, in order to like bring some type of key, but it is a process here for this person. And as this person's realizing their folly, because it feels like this person's life got diverted. Like it just feels like they went down this entire life path, has built a lot of karma around this person in particular that cut quite an image, and I think has a lot of money and a lot of assets and a lot of power, but also not a lot of emotion, I think, just in general, but also not a lot of emotion for this person. And I think maybe what this person thought was like love and passion was just greed, and that pulled them away from you, and you were doubted in the past by this person. Because like I said, at first, this person had just like raw passion for you, and it's real. It's not actually built on greed. But because this person can't own it in themselves, that they are a person motivated by greed, and actually there's not a lot of morality here, that they would do anything, to achieve something. They couldn't see you clearly, because that would require seeing themselves clearly. And what was actually motivating them, they couldn't do that. There's something here that they like wanted so badly, or wanted to believe so badly. I also just heard acceptance. So it could have been like a group or a club, that this person that they are aligned with, or that they did align with in the past, they wanted acceptance from like that group. And so you became, I just heard like public enemy number one. There was like doubt that was cast upon you in the past of like, are you good or are you not? Are you positively intentioned, or are you being selfish? Are you being strategic? And that might have even been like, it's giving kind of Mars energy, like with your body, or, you were just maybe leading this person on, or like, are you trying to see what you can get? Maybe it's not even like with this person, but just out there in the world. And it's this person wrote that upon you because they are like that. They themselves are like that. They're not owning it and integrating it and doing their shadow work. So instead, I feel like they just projected it on you. And so they went down this kind of like other path, and you have some kind of strong protection here, and it looks to be magical. And for some of you, I want to say that like, you're on a spiritual path. Maybe you do dabble in magic, and maybe that's kind of thrown your character into doubt, like for this person, because they're like, well, what does that mean? Like, because there's also some type of like rhyme and a reason, like a mirroring between the two of you, where this person went against their father's teachings, is what I want to say. This could be like their heavenly father, or like their religious teachings, or the morals and values that they were expected to uphold, like being a part of their family line or like their family lineage. This person did not transcend those values. They just ignored it. They actively went against it. All of that was unconscious, and it was motivated by greed. And I think this person was taught about greed. I think they were taught about having a backbone. They were taught about building themselves the right way, and they chose not to. And there's like a level of like deceit, I want to say, in that you, I feel like, have overcome, you've transcended the limitations of some type of religion or spirituality, or even religious trauma that was kind of placed upon you. Maybe you felt like a pawn or something like in those teachings. And so I feel like it feels like you've grown through those teachings, where you've taken the heart of those teachings actually, but you have also grown in them. And this person doesn't know how to see that, because that's not at all the path that they took. They just know that you are overtly different. This person is absolutely different as well. I just think that they are deceitful. And they're with people that are deceitful, and they've merged themselves. And I think maybe I'm kind of hearing like a mixing of the blood. They've kind of mixed themselves with someone who is very deceitful, because of ambition and just wanting abundance. So you have some type of protection that's come in here. And I am actually hearing like a white witch. Like, I don't know if that's what you are, or if you have like the protection of a white witch somewhere. And for some of you, it literally could be me, because I do pulse magic through my readings. All of it is consensual. Your higher self can consent to it or not. I pulse truth. Just like kind of get to the heart of it, reveal the truth, and I pump it actually back, like through your lifetimes, and you can consent to it or not. It's not like put upon you or anything. So for some of you, our energies align, like we're of a similar kind of frequency. And so that's available, that's on offer. That's just one thing. It could also be your own. It could be that you have like loving friends, and that are kind of this ilk too. This could also be like a spirit guide or something. I'm just getting strong, magical, protective energy within you and for you, and it's illuminating this as well. And it's maybe made you angry, or like whatever this protective energy is, I do sense like a kind of anger that's coming from it. But this feels like divine righteous anger because of what it can see, because of what it has unearthed, or what it can like discover here. And wants you to kind of discover, but is being very gentle with it. So I think for a lot of you, you have kind of realized here that there's this other person that's involved, and this is not a good person. This is somebody who I think cuts an image, somebody who's very, very successful. I'm not impressed with this person though. I gotta say, like the personhood of them is not coming through well. It's almost coming through like hollow, or just, I'm not sure if it's their money. I'm not sure if they inherited it. I'm not sure that they built it in a way that I find impressive, so I'm just not really impressed with this person. I think it's impressive what they have. And I think you'd have to love stuff. I think you'd really have to love stuff, just like over people. And I think your person is that way. And I think they haven't been able to really realize that there's a big difference between the two of you. I think maybe you started off as soulmates. You guys could have actually been a power couple, but this is like a power couple on like a spiritual, energetic plane. And you might sense that, because I'm just getting right off the bat, you sense the potential. And this is a kind of potential that's like a climbing potential, a raw strength potential. You sense that in this person. That this is somebody who could maybe match you. And I think it's maybe been a disappointment. I just heard disappointment of your lifetime, that they can't. They have fallen. Actually, this is a person who has such climbing potential, such like a strong solar plexus chakra, or at least like the potential there, and has actually fallen quite a bit in this lifetime. And I do think that they can like rise back up, but they have had to discover the truth. I just heard mean girls, that they've been around some mean girls, and I don't think that's necessarily women. I think that this is maybe just a cliquey, gossipy group that have things, but like I said, I'm not really just impressed with these people. And this person is like them now. They are. They don't think that they are, but they are. They've got a ways to go here, and they've really got to rally their strength in order to be able to break away from this and to like break free from this. And that starts with them discovering like, oh shit, like the path that they were on, and they have to admit that they were maybe horrible to you, and that they there's been like protection brought into the space, very strong, absolutely serious protection. And there's pissed off, like there's just pissed off energy about the way this person treated you, and what they went in for. It's cheap. I don't care. This person could have billions of dollars, whoever this person is. It's so fucking cheap, and just chintzy and stupid. And this person has to admit to themselves that that's who they are, and that's what they mixed with and mingled with. And it feels like there's maybe a group here, and so they're discovering that about this person, which is really just a pathway to them discovering who they actually are, which is somebody just extremely materialistic, immoral, willing to throw over their principles and values for a little recognition that doesn't even belong to them, a little nibble, a little crumb. And I think this person's like pissed off at this person, but honestly, this person would have no power over them if they weren't dazzled by something that, I'm hearing in reality had little to offer. That's like some type of like proverb or something. Or maybe it's the I Ching. It's dazzled by a relationship that in reality has very little to offer. Yeah. And maybe that's what they thought about you in the past. But I feel like the energy here is twisting. It's turning. So I think this person maybe I feel that they've grown in themselves because they entangled with these people, that if I'm just watching somebody blow hot air into a balloon, like just to kind of puff it up. So I feel like somebody here has just blown their ego like kind of sky high, like, oh, you're so great. When really, I don't think that this person's really in and of themselves accomplished much of anything. But they've been led to believe that. So then I think they felt strong in terms of like maybe revisiting a connection with you and like illuminating something here about maybe you and what it is that you're up to. And this person had to see that you are actually what they thought this other person was, but it's like from the inside out. They have to discover that they were wrong about you. So all of this is it's happening so that they can actually get the true full picture of their life, and what it is that they were looking at in these situations. Because I'm hearing, I was blind, but now I see. This person has been blind, very, very blind in their life. Not ever knowing really what was in front of them, not caring to know, not caring what they aligned with, whether they were on their path or not, whether something sat right with them or whether it didn't. Just so long as this person could get a quick fix, they took it as long-term success, or they took it as like a guarantee. There's a real lack of wisdom here. And I feel like that's surprising to you, because this person really could have been something different. They really, really could have. And they will never be that. And I think that's not in this lifetime. They will never be that. And I think that's part of you getting your distance from this person, is you kind of realizing this person, they can never be that in this lifetime. It's not that they can't ever, this person's been really cut down. And I think maybe they have to start over or something, because it's almost like they feel they have this like godlike status or something, that the rules don't apply to them or something, because of, and again, this person, it's really doing them a disservice that they think that they're successful, because I think this person has something, but has been given, but they were exploited, I feel like, as well, but they colluded with the energy. So it's hard to kind of, pull all this apart. So they have to kind of get pissed off. They have to really focus here. There's a lot of kind of stark energy as well. I think they also have to have compassion for for people that, not necessarily right away, because it's correct for them to be angry about what they involved with. Having that like mask fall away as things are kind of like illuminated. But I think for you, this is like a death process. This is a grieving process, because this person will never be that. They will never be the person that you thought that they could be. And that's sad. And I think whatever they are now, which to me looks unimpressive, but I think to the world looks impressive, is what they wanted. It's impressive to them. And they seem angry. Why are they angry? Guidance. They feel that they got some type of guidance to follow their dick, and that was going to lead them open to a gateway. But I can tell you for a damn fact that that's not the only guidance that this person had. And I think that, actually for a lot of you, their dad actually disagrees with that. And they've disgraced him and his teachings and, his place in their life in favor of just this cheap ass shit. There's some type of older woman here that told them to turn away from altruism. And this older woman might have been linked to some type of powerful man. But this powerful man kind of sits in the background and this could be one and the same person because if it's an older woman, I feel like she can come off very, like playful or like nonchalant, like, oh, I'm just a bubbly, but really is very measured, actually. Very calculated, very, has everything kind of, it's like 3D chess. She's got everything kind of like, planned out. That's a calculated move. And I'm hearing myself say that in another reading that I think was kind of a while ago, where it's like, this is a person who comes off very sweet or very like, let's just go with the flow. But this is like, it's that temptation of the devil. And this person knows that they're drawing this person further and further and further away from their path. On some level, they do understand that, but into their clutches. They have control over this person. And I think that's what this person likes is control. And they collect ornaments. And I feel like ornaments are people to this. People are ornaments to this person. And now your person thinks that same way. This person was taught to be unconscionable. And they liked it. They lapped it up. And they didn't question it. And it didn't bother them. And they rose in the ranks around this person. And that is something they should be deeply ashamed of. And they are proud. This is a person who is proud of what they've become. And I think they feel it is divine, or they think that it's angelic, or that it was their destiny. They think that they're an inspiration, I think, to other people. But really, they've just played into someone's hand here. And they've taken what they're given. They think they've been convinced here that it's like their own strength that they have built. And it's not. It's not. They rely on someone else's strength. and skill. But that skill, as much as that skill has maybe paved a way for them, it's also sabotaged them. This is not a giving person. They always have an agenda. Any skill that this person would teach you, they've got the antidote for it in their back pocket. And if they don't, they won't teach you that. And this person has to individuate from that in order to go after the higher cup and in order to have a new beginning. And maybe for some of you, you are this person's higher cup. Yeah, this person is maybe now, or they will in the future, realize that you are perfect, that they should have never doubted you, and that them doubting you was really because they couldn't acknowledge that they are like greedy and selfish, and corrupted. Like now I'm seeing a corruption in the solar plexus. Like what I thought was like that solar plexus chakra, the yellow of that mixing with the green of the heart chakra. It's like kind of coming across like peridot to me, like that kind of peridot color. And I thought originally that, oh, that's like a mixing with the heart chakra. Now it just kind of looks dingy and like polluted. And this person actually looks very small to me, like your person. They look kind of small and like wide-eyed, like a child, you know, like in front of this other person. And yeah, they saw something they couldn't resist and they thought that it was support. And I think they thought it was a handout, but that motherfucker was bait. They chomped down on that. The hook went right in their mouth and this person didn't even know. They didn't even know. And so this person's kind of circled back around, or they will circle back around to your life, and they'll see that you are actually, something about you is actually impressive. But I feel like this is what I was describing. This was the potential that they had. They're kind of seeing it in you, and they're wanting to, I think they're seeing their destiny. They're seeing like what they could have been, and they're like, damn, that is what I wish that I was, you know? And I think with you, that is like your solar plexus chakra mixing with your heart chakra, because this person was given some type of, what is the word I'm looking for? Some type of like a teaching, some type of philosophy that was like, shut off your heart space, be immoral. That is the way to success. And that's not natural to this person. And it's also not the way that they were taught in their family. So there's a lot of, it's self-betrayal, it's familial betrayal, it's betrayal to you and just goodness in general. And just align fully with the dark. That's basically like what this is saying. And they did that. You, I think you're, again, mixing with the solar plexus, which to me, it's like strength. It's like personal strength. And it's also like the seat of our individuality. And that's mixed in with heart energy, which this person was told wrongly is vulnerable. And for you, it makes you brave, and it's made you take certain risks in putting yourself out there or in shining a light. And your philosophy that you somehow exude. Some of you could, like, you know, maybe this person has heard you say this to somebody, but it's like, no, you have to have the courage to be yourself. No, you have to have the courage to love people, you know, and you have to turn away from anything that would tell you not to love people. That's not who you want to be, and it's not the world that we want to live in. And that is just only ever a short-term gain, right? Because even if you do well for yourself and the people around you don't do well, then you live in a shithole, and you're always having to guard and protect yourself, and it becomes miserly, and just play it out in your head, like play it out all the way out to the end. But this person was so blinded by, you know, that temptation energy, the greed energy, and they mistook their greed for lust, and they also mistook their greed for love. There's a real, it's like something here mimics attraction. It's like not real attraction, but it's greed. That's what it is. Their greed mimics attraction. So they want to be right up close here to the money, I think, and to like the luxuries. And so they thought, oh, I'm attracted to this. And I guess in a weird way it is attraction, but it's not like pure attraction. Whereas this person didn't know how to trust their attraction to you once this other energy got into their line of sight. Now, I don't know. It seems like you had strong protection around you. It's spirit guide. There's two strong spirit guides around you. One's masculine, one's feminine. They're both, I don't know how to, like, they're both the strong silent type, like whatever this is. And it's energetic and it's around you. And these are also kind of, these energies that are around you that are very protective. They are, how do I say? They are, like, not the popular kids, but that's, you know, they know about stigma. That's kind of what these are guides that kind of know about stigma. And I feel like they are walking, somehow they are teaching you how to use stigma as a cover and as a tunnel for you to move silently, I don't know, through something undetected to get out of range is what I want to say, because this person is not around good people, okay? And I feel like you in some way would have been more of a target than you are. And it's like you were growing, you were like a little seedling or a little sapling, and your guides knew that you would have been easily taken out. If you were seen as like more of a threat, then this person could have like easily taken you out, or like this group of people, but you've been offered a path away from this. And somehow it is like using stigma is what I want to say, or like this confusion energy of like, I'm not really sure what that is, but it's like also the kind of energy where it's not understood, or it's like not taken seriously, or it's not connected with power. And for some of you, I feel like that might be spirituality, because I'm just getting that these people and your person, and I don't want to separate your person out from these people, even though I can feel them kind of pulling away. And I feel that's important. No, sir, or no, ma'am. That's where you are. You worked very hard to be over there. So I'm not saying like not to pull yourself out, but I also feel like if you lie to this person and say, oh yeah, you're different from those people. I mean, he could have been, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, like he could have been, but he's very much with them. He's very much aligned with them. His karmas are built with them. He's engaged in the same shit they've engaged in. So I feel like he needs to have that thrown in his face a bit in order to motivate him to get the fuck out of there. And it's going to take some work to get the fuck out of there, because this man can climb, okay? He's got some strength in him. And you saw it right away. He just applied it towards the wrong things. So now he can apply it towards the right things. And he's going to have to sweat to get back to kind of neutral. And he should do that, but he's not there. And you need to kind of recognize that too. And I feel like this has been kind of a grieving process for you, where you're like, well, damn. I thought that there was somebody who kind of keep up with me. Maybe this journey didn't have to be so lonely. I didn't have to be so picked on. At least there was going to be one person who kind of understood. But I think that you found something else, and you are possibly connecting with like your own magic, your own liberation here. And you, I think, are maybe in some way liberating this person, not because you're trying to, but just because of your motions, your movements. And that is a kind of power that these people don't understand. And it's having an effect in this situation that these people don't understand. And it's like bigger than you is what I want to say. It's not like, yeah, it's bigger than you. And it's causing some type of inspiration, maybe in him. It's inspiring him of like, wait a second, I thought these people were cool. I thought it was cool to be absolutely shitty to people. I thought that was like real nice to be around. I was like, I want to be just like that. That's what this person genuinely thought. And that now they see you and they're like, actually, I think I can be strong, and I can climb in a way that I feel good about, in a way that uplifts other people. That's actually maybe what I want to be, Maybe it took a little longer, but yeah, there's support and wisdom and genuine guidance here on your side of things. You're not being led astray. You're not being undercut by the people around you. This person, it's like they've gone as far as they can go here, and really they'll just go down. Because this is like a user. They'll use people until they can't really use them, until they're like not of any benefit. And then they'll kind of push them down, and they always have control. They always have the upper hand. But I think this person that your person went in for, they're very, this is giving sociopath. I'm not diagnosing anyone, but I'm just saying like, it's just giving that this person can be kind of charming, and make you think that it's your idea, and make you think that, oh, it's very the snake in the Garden of Eden. It's very like, oh, don't worry about that. Just, step on that person to get ahead. You shouldn't worry about that. Don't concern yourself with that. God put that person there for you to step on them. It's very much like that. And this person was like, yep, and they're discovering all that. They are discovering all that, and they're going to have to connect with their strength. I feel like the same way you did. But you guys are not on the journey together now, and I feel like you're being protected from this energy. And I really don't like the energy of this person that they're attached to. Let me just see. Oh, death energy. Hold on. Oh, they might try to end their support. Yeah, that's the strings of power, right? Like they're just going to say, well, I'm going to end my support of you. They could be providing this person some type of ecstasy lifestyle. It could be, when I said that, there's a certain drug that's goes by that name. But it's, this person's in like a stupor. Oh, damn. Yeah, this person could have been like Prometheus. They could have that altruism energy, because Prometheus goes against Zeus. You know, this could have been a person that like stood up to like the gods, like the head god, you know, and was like with his compassion energy, because Prometheus was like, no, I care about the people. I'm going to bring them fire. I'm going to, you know, and he himself kind of suffers for that. But he's a man of principle. He, whether you agree with him or whether you don't agree with him, that he should have helped out the humans, you know, it's like he has his own principles and he stands up for his own principles and he kind of goes in there. But this person's not that way. And I think they are sad. They have to take action. This is a call to action. Oh yeah, Zeus, leadership. Yeah, this person brick by brick has built their own karma. I think it's hard for this person to kind of recognize that, because they just thought they were on the gravy train, and they thought that I think it's hard for this person to kind of take accountability for this, but Spirit is lighting this up for this person of like, you've got to take accountability. You've got to see, I walked step for step with this person into this like kind of abyss, you know, I have tied myself to this and I need to untie myself from this. There's a real call to action, and there's a call to leadership here for this person. So there could be others that this person is meant to inspire by standing up to this person, but I do think they've got to be careful. And also this person could, they could be like a drunk, or they could have like some type of problem here that they have to overcome, and they need some type of assistance. Yeah, they're in chaos. Okay, so their call to leadership, I think, is by seeking out alternative leadership first. Somebody who kind of is more like you, but for a lot of you, I do feel like you're feminine, and so this person needs to seek out somebody more like you, but that is a masculine. I think that's actually really important. And somebody that, weirdly, I think somebody that like led their father's life, or like led their father's existence, or like their father's teaching, somebody who, or transcended them. Like, even if it wasn't like pace for pace, their father's teachings, but somebody who's noble, somebody who is strong, and somebody who like built their own way. Somebody who's not beholden to anybody. This person needs to seek out a man like that, I feel, to look up to. They need support. I feel like this person actually needs support right now. That might be tough for them because they feel very strongly in themselves, this call to leadership. But this is going to be a hard path, you know, and I don't mean to sound doom and gloom. I feel like this person absolutely needs to be told what's what, like, because this person's kind of in a state of denial, and they might also be in this like stupor energy. So they have to be told, you are not, and you're not simply like, there's a lot of, his actions led him here. And he colluded with this, like fully. And so he needs to uncollude with it fully. That needs to be like, you know, made clear to this man. But I think about the story of the Buddha, you know, where the Buddha was in one of the hell realms, like the fire, it was a fire hell realm, I'm pretty sure. Before he, like, that was his soul's journey to enlightenment. He had to go to like a hell realm, and he was there, and it was like violence, and I think they had to like pull a cart back and forth, like him and this other guy. And, you know, they got like whipped on, and like whoever was doing that was like yelling at them all the time. And then that's how that was his path that ultimately led him to becoming the Buddha. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying like there needs to be a recognition here. And actually, the Buddha sacrificed himself for that other guy, I think, or something like that. Yeah. But that is ultimately who became an enlightened being that like leads so many people through their energy and through their example, like out of suffering, like teaches people how to deal with suffering. So it's not like, oh, well, this is a death sentence and he's always going to be in this energy. No, but he needs to get real about who he is and what he's done, why he did it. He needs to, because this is a guy who's very confused. He was doubting you in the past. And he didn't doubt this other person at all. And he didn't doubt this other teachings like at all, because he was just driven by greed and couldn't see that about himself, you know, and therefore couldn't connect with his own strength, but very much felt his own potential, you know, just didn't know how to trust himself to build it, you know, or to build it with like a divine heavenly partner, didn't know how to trust any of that. So that has to be a curriculum for him. He has to understand, well, I need to learn how to do that. I need to understand fully that this is not the way that it goes. And this is a hard learning. This is a hard path here. But he is strong. So maybe not now, but in his soul, he's strong, and he's got to, I think, seek out some type of support. I think he needs to get clean. He needs to stop being reliant. He needs to cut off like his dependency on people like this. Because so long as he's dependent, whoever he's dependent on is in control. And this person maybe has a good way of staying out of it, or seeming like they're not in control, or seeming like, oh, you can trust me. But he really just gives over his power. I'm just seeing a puppet on a string here. And he's got to hate that. He's got to despise it. Like, I'm saying, like, I'm sure it's uncomfortable, but like, he needs to grow to despise that kind of a, like, no, I don't want to ever be in that position. So I'm not going to go down that path because it's not what I want, and it's not who I want to be. And I can see it clearly from here. You know what I'm saying? He's got to be that person, and he just wasn't in the past. But you are also somehow affecting the situation, in like an invisible way. And that could be that your own energy work, and don't send, I feel like somehow like your connection with him, like if you have sent energy work, I think it's for you to like illuminate what's been going on. That is maybe also what's illuminating for him, because for it to be illuminated for you, it's just illuminated maybe in general. That's for some of you. But I want to say some of you have done a cord cutting here, or some type, there's potentially energy work that you've done. If you've done a cord cutting, then maybe all the karmic lessons are coming up on his side, where you're not carrying things that you shouldn't be carrying, or like taking responsibility, because there's no responsibility on this guy's side. Or at least there wasn't in the past. And he doesn't know. He basically aligned and called his enemies, like his hidden enemies, friends. And he called his actual friends enemies. Or he called them like stupid, or like, weak, or and it's like self-hatred, because it's like you're cut from the same cloth as those people, but now they're like quote unquote beneath you. Like, absolutely not. No. But yeah, like you're kind of coming up a fighter here, but you're energetically kind of just fighting for yourself. And I think in a weird way, it's like it's like loosening the foundation of the lies that the false, horrendous, like, philosophy that this person has built. And there may even be a partnership. I don't know if it's between the two of them. It's definitely not equal. Okay. And your guy is like the man here, and he is kind of obsessed with his own image, like with his own sense of power and control. But if these two are in some type of relationship, I mean, this other person just has all the power, just controls all the resources, has all the strings. And I think your person knows that. But it's like, so long as they can live a party lifestyle or something, they don't have to worry about it or something. And it might not even be through, it could be like there's something behind the partner. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you're showing up here as divine counterpart, because you're showing up as Bodhicha and Osiris. So like Isis and Osiris, which, Isis is like that renewal energy. But you're pissed though. And you've kind of wanted to destroy everything. So that could have been a cord cutting here. Can you cut this cord? Let me just see. Oh, you're very strong. You're very strong. And it's something that I feel like he feels on an energetic level. And it could be because you came up fighting here for your independence from him. This is also kind of weird. What is that movie? I can't watch it because it's the kind of evil in women that I kind of can't stand. But it's an older movie. Jessica Biel is in it. So it was like her and her guy were like fighting some type of evil oppressive force. But then the other lady like gets with him. Like they're a couple in this. And she's intentionally twisting the knife, like in Jessica Biel, like her character. And like she kind of had to leap. I don't know, but it's like you are just fighting for your independence. I really feel for a lot of you, whoever I'm talking to, you don't want this man back. This isn't your man. I feel like you're just kind of like, he's nothing of mine. He made that clear. And also like the person that he's become is more like her and like this other group here. He didn't choose the path with you. He chose the Sith and not the Jedi is kind of the way it's coming across. He chose money or status, but it's not even real. It's not even his. So he went in for some type of temptation, but I do feel somehow in some energetic way, or now I said it was like in a hidden way. And for some, it's just, he's his love for you. For some of you, he has a real love for you and he knows it now because he realized that what he thought was like love and attraction was really just like greed and a desire for power and control. And maybe for some of you, this is what this guy needed to explore his dark side. I mean, I feel like he's fully engaged it. I feel like he's fully explored his dark side here. He's grown it. He's mated with it. He has built it in terms of a company. This is just, and I think that you're just being allowed to see, this is like pretty developed. He's gone very far down this path. Which I think is also why you're allowed to discover this and make your own mind up. And I think a lot of you are really bucking this connection. And let me just see, like, flow and action and chaos. I feel spirit is coming into this situation. Right now, it's a move of like inspiration. So that tells me that this guy has an opportunity to turn himself around. It's going to take a lot of work. It's an independent journey, much like yours was, because he's got to prove himself to be your equal. He has to prove himself worthy of you. And that's going to take a while because he's not just even starting at neutral anymore. He's worked for the other team. He's put a lot of energy and effort into the other team's agenda. And so he's, I think, lighting the way out for some people who have also been wrapped up in this, because ultimately all of these people are just kind of lost, wayward souls, and you can have compassion for them, but also you have to recognize that they're fully in the grips of like selfishness and greed and power, and I will destroy you if you get in my way kind of a thing. But it's for him to fight, not for you. Because to keep control, not just of him, this person would do this to anybody around them. Because this is a kind of person and a kind of people that just use people as things, use people as pawns, and then teaches other people how to do that. So not even just with your person. So I'm saying like they shouldn't really even be flattered. They will just destroy anybody that is kind of like a threat to their power and control. This person didn't really think that you were a threat, or they thought that you were, or they could convince this person that you were evil, or that you were what they are, that you are. I feel like they just sowed seeds of doubt, or they flamed what was already there. Because this person's very superficial, but they also know what they're doing. I wouldn't take any heart level advice, any internal, how do you read, people's internal I wouldn't take any kind of advice like that from this person. My God. But yeah, this person has harmed a lot of people that they're with, and that they're around. And there seems to be somebody that stands behind them, and it's not your person. It's a much stronger person. I don't know if that's a partner and that your person is just like a plaything, or if it's a father. It's somebody who knows how to seem like they provide support, but really they move around in silence here. They really pretend to be altruistic and to impart wisdom, but they get people in partnerships, whether that's business partnerships, they get them in like compromised positions. But this has to do with partnerships, to where they're linked to somebody that they have to stay with, basically, or they have to be linked to a certain person in order to receive the benefit, and that whoever they're linked to seems great, but they're not. So they get them in a compromised position in terms of their own power. So your person, they have an inner divine power that they won't ever be able to access, not fully. They can just it's like these people are it's like a bloodletting. They're kind of just bloodletting out this kind of divine power to use for their own energy, and eventually it'll be gone. But your person kind of wants to sense their full power because they sensed it before, and I think they sensed it around you, and maybe that also felt foreign to them, or it made them feel like maybe it was bad. It was like an energetic power, or they could sense your energetic power. But this kind of reminds me of like Princess Diana, when she says, well, when power comes through a woman, people are like, where is she going with it? What is she doing with it? Where is she taking it? Like, kind of a thing. It really, yeah. So there's a lot going on here in this situation, but I do feel it's changing, and I feel like you have done cord cutting. And if you can't get this cord fully cut, it's because this could have been like crazy in this life. I think maybe you sensed it too. That's why there's such like a grief here. Y'all are like energetic powerhouses, the two of you, different, but very potent. And I think this person is kind of they're looking like they might turn it around, and they're looking like they might be willing to, really put themselves through the paces to get back to not just to you, but to who they're supposed to be. Because this person wouldn't just be grieving you, and also having to face and confront who they were and what that meant and how that felt, especially because you're so connected. You're so energetically connected. So them being an asshole to you is not the same as just being an asshole to somebody like on a bus station or something. It's just not. So like this person, you felt every betrayal. And spirit is kind of letting you see what you felt, behind the scenes here. But it's looking like maybe this person is thinking about moving in the right direction, and they're giving them an opportunity to do that. But they are keeping you separate. You have an immense amount of protection here, like energetic protection, because this is very lopsided. It's like you didn't do anything wrong, and this person did everything wrong. And so they got a lot to prove here, and they got a lot to take back. And I don't know the path that Spirit's going to lead them down, but they also might be cut off from this other person. That's a blessing in disguise. And if this person loses interest in them and feels like they're just a husk that they can't really use anymore, that's also a blessing to them. But I'm not sure, because it's like maybe once this person starts to gain in strength, this person might loop back around. That actually could already be a thing that goes on, because this person's just a user. So they'll drain some. It's like that, they'll discard them. They'll start moving away. They'll start getting better. They'll start getting stronger. Maybe have a little, the glow will come back into their skin, and, they'll have a little bit going for them. That's when this person will come back around, because they're like, oh, thanks. This more stuff that I can take from you, and you can think that I'm benevolent. I love this game we play, so this person has to just wake up, and they have to start seeing through the eyes of wisdom and seeing the broader context and putting themselves in context. If they think this person cares about them, Jesus, Lord. No, no. Yeah. So your person's got a long way to go, and they just it's hard for them to even comprehend how fully complicit they were, like, in this cycle, and how they were exactly like this other person. They wanted the same things that this other person wanted: power, lust, greed. They wanted to be admired, but not actually be admirable. And they wanted it for all the wrong reasons, and they didn't give a single fuck about the way that affected anybody else. So they got a lot of healing to do. But this kind of healing looks like man stuff. This looks like, it looks like brawn, just straight energetic brawn, kind of getting away from this person, who also may be energetically capable, but seems like they're not. They also could have given your person something that is like of value, but it's like cursed or like has some type of magic associated. I wouldn't want anything this person has to offer. They couldn't give me a stick of gum. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.